Today starts off with Hope taking us to the DMV. She is going to try and get her her driver's license today, and it's a really big deal, so wish us luck. So we're at the DMV, and we're ready to give this thing a go.
Woo!
How you feeling?
I'm feeling a little bit nervous, but I have had my permit for 1.5 years. I think I got this. Hopefully.
Let's do it. So today's been hard on me. I tried to get out of the house at 11:30 this morning, and it took from 11:30 till 2 to sort of get everything organized and get going. We got there at 2:30 and we waited until 4. At 4 I went up and I talked to the DMV people and I'm like, should we just leave? You know, because they close at 5. And she said, yeah, pretty much. You got here too late. So it's 4:30 now. We just got home. I spent the last 5 hours feeling captive by schedules and stuff.
It's not fun.
Not fun. So I guess we'll hit the shop, see if we can make some progress. All right. It's nighttime. It's like 8:15, 8:30 at night. And somehow I just haven't hit like my productivity quotient of the day. So Hope and I are out here in the stable doing stuff. I do have a bunch of questions to answer for you guys though. And here, I've got 3 in my head. First off, my tooth. I chipped it by biting a fork. If you watch yesterday's video, I do this like extreme close-up on my tooth. It has a tiny little chip under 1 or 2 of the front ones. I see the dentist tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm very excited about that. As a matter of fact, if you're watching this video, I've already gone to the dentist and hopefully he's made me good as new and ready to bite people again. The other thing I get a lot is questions about insulating this building. And believe me, I've given it a ton of thought. And you know, I don't know what the future will hold. Like it could happen, but it's really far off from insulating. It's not like a garage where the only thing missing is insulation. You know, like, oh yeah, just put some insulation in the walls, add some air conditioning or heat, and you're golden. Can you see the roof there? Like the light coming in? All of that is unsealed. So like this whole thing is unsealed. All this wall, like it's unsealed. Over here, come on Hope.
I'm coming.
That's outside. I don't know if the lighting is working for you or what. Yeah, there's no, and then this here is just like planks of wood. The building was never meant to be insulated. It was meant for horses. It's a stable. And I just feel like it's so far away from being sealed. And it's also quite large, which brings me, we're going to upstairs, solve 2 things at once. Turning on the upstairs lights.
Making sure we don't die.
Yeah, a little less trippy.
Got you a good calf shot there, Dad.
Oh, awesome. Here, if you look out over there, do you see all the holes above the wall? Like it's free vented. It's not even, there's so much building here. It's like a 2,500 square foot building, something like that. It would be very, very difficult to insulate this so I could heat and air conditioning. And it might even be smarter to get a new building, like a second building, and use this for just storage. Who knows what the future will hold? The other thing that people have asked about is a dust collection system. Yes, that's in the works. This and this make up the 2 primary components of my cyclone, and I'm just sort of hanging on. Oh wait, over here. This is the thing that collects all the dust for my cyclone. I had a nice dust collection system in my Apex house, and I haven't set it up here mostly, well, one time, but I'm doing it near the end because I want to do a little woodworking before I set it up so that I really know I like the location of my machines. Like if I have to run a new outlet, that's not that big of a deal. But if I have to run new plumbing to the machines off the dust collection, it's an even bigger deal. So anyway, yeah, at some point we're gonna add dust collection, and of course we'll vlog it with you guys, but it's gonna take a little time because I wanna make sure I really like where all my stuff is. Now, let's work on that outfeed table. All right, I don't know if there's a better way, but I'm gonna start by assembling the apron. You'll never see this screw because it'll be captured behind the table legs, but it is gonna help me assemble this guy and make sure that things don't move around. So with the apron assembled, my next step is to assemble the L-shaped legs around it like that. I've marked off roughly how far it goes, and you guys will surely add this to my list of things that I repeat, but wood glue is stronger than wood. And what I mean by that is if you, like, say, glue two pieces of wood together and then break it, it will break. Like, the wood will break, not the glue will separate. So I got these things ages ago. You buy them like 100 at a time. I'm talking about these little paintbrushes things. You buy like 100 of them for, I don't know, $5 or $6. So they're slightly more than free. And then I just feel like I've had many, many glue jobs that are better for that one-time investment. I bought 2 packs for like $14. I still have a pack left. So now, with this glued in, I'm going to screw it in place, and that'll give the glue the pressure it needs to get a good seal and set up properly. Hopefully I don't mess this up. Little update, we did some stuff off camera because I used Hope as my second set of hands, pretty cool. But we have the legs on here. If you come, can you come from the side? There. So this L has captured that. There's a little bit of squeeze out to prove there's glue all over here, but this thing is glued on nice, and these 4 screws or 8 screws, while I guess they provide some mechanical strength, they're really there to work like as a clamp to keep this glue joint tight, and it's going to seal up. If you look at the sides, here, grab the gap. Do you see how this is all gappy and yucky? It'll be fine when we put the apron on to hold it in place nice. So we're gonna get that done before the glue is totally set. So we'll be right back. I made this little story stick. I don't know if you can see the lines on it. I need more hands, but there's one and there's one. So rather than measuring like 12 inches and 16 inches down from the top 8 times, which is kind of error prone, I just do it once and then transfer the markings by, holding it up and moving it over. So now her glue spaces and the location of the apron that goes around is all marked out, and we're gonna put that in next. All right, so here's the scoop. I need to cut this piece of plywood. There's 2 problems. Even if I had an outfeed table, cutting it to 6 foot is a challenge. Like, my table saw only cuts 52 inches, so you could kind of do the opposite and cut 2 feet off and have 6 feet scrap and get roughly what you want. But without an outfeed table, that operation is really sketchy. So I'm going to show you what you do when either you don't have a table saw or you're just not comfortable using it. So here it is. I'm going to measure this guy out to 6 foot. On this side, and then way over here by Hope-y Doo. Gonna measure it to 6 foot again. And then I'm gonna take this jig I built a while ago, and I'll show you how it works. This is my circular saw, and this metal edge runs up against this guy here, and then I need to pull this back, and then when I push this guy along, I'll get a nice perfect straight line. Here, I'll show you. Oh, I didn't realize it was on. All right, pro tip here. You might think that I'm all set up and ready for this cut, and you'd be close, but one thing I do all the time before I make a cut is I kind of mentally figure out, like, how's it gonna go? Am I gonna be able to reach that far? And in this case, where's the cord gonna go? So this cord is gonna be hanging behind this thing the whole way. I'm just gonna put it on top. And that way, when I pull this along, the cord should follow and not get hung up. What I hate to have happen is to pull along, have the cord like get hung up in a corner somewhere, and now mid-cut, I'm burning the wood while at the same time like one-handed, not paying attention to the dangerous thing. Just think about where your cord's gonna go. You'll help yourself out. All right, you ready for this? Oh wait, another thing, what the scrap is gonna do. I really should have had this ready off camera, but I'm gonna set these guys up just under here so that at the end of the cut, it's not falling off and being a big problem. All right, that should be good enough for shop furniture. Let's do this. There you are. Nice and safe, nice and straight. The other cut I can make on the table saw. All right. Now, this job would be super easy if I had an outfeed table, but until I do, I'm going to use children instead.
I think child's a bit rude at this point. Dad.
I see where you're coming from. Are you ready?
I am.
It's cut.
Hanging out with the wood.
She turned the camera on at my worst moment. Here, I'll explain what I did. Measured twice, cut once. All right, so what I did is I measured the interior of this, right? Because I need to drop this down into this spot, right? The objective is for that wood over there. Can you get a shot of the wood? Okay, that wood should fit on top of all this. You see this gap? We'll pull it in nice and tight and make it beautiful. And I measured the wood so it would fit in the interior of this. Like 6 foot is exactly the length of this interior board. I should have been measuring to have it sit on top. It should be 6 foot, 1.5 inches. I have made a mistake. And it looks like that's going to wrap up our night, and tomorrow we'll buy a bunch more plywood and probably finish this thing for real. So here's where we leave off for the night. We have to cut this interior piece to size, which we started to do, but you know, mistakes were made. We have to cut the top to size. You'd think just use a 4x8 sheet, but it's going to be 4 by whatever the length of the table saw is. I think it's about 6 feet. I forget exactly. Something like 6 feet. And that'll be the top and the interior. And then we're also going to have a board that comes across the middle here so that it doesn't like bow or, you know, just a nice straight like I-beam construction sort of thing. So that's where it leaves off today. I don't expect this to span too many more videos. Soon I'll have an outfeed table. Oh, and I need feet for it, which should arrive tomorrow. Oh yeah, last thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe and favorite and share. Tell your friends. Make your mom watch this video. All the stuff that YouTubers love.
Multi-million-dollar deals, got $1 million deal. When I was younger, I would wonder how $1 million feel. And for real, it feel like I ain't even broke a seal. Cause when you drop hits, they want you to pick up the bill. Now my life is in Maryland, my heart is in Chicago. New York state of mind, but out LA, man, that's where I go. When I need to lay this shit down. So much on my mind, that's the reason I'm spitting now. Finally running the game and everybody tripping now. But I could give